Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Dominion's 4 Mod Showcase. And here for my 4th showcase, I am showcasing a mod called Shambhala by Globu. It was actually written for Dominion's 3 originally by Nounours, but Globu has taken over maintenance and construction of the mod. But first, I want to talk about the map. The map, as you can see in the background, is quite beautiful, and it's a new map by Cymoth called Chalice of Ilmatar. And I will have a link to both the mod and the map in the description as usual. Now this map takes good advantage of 3D, or parent 3D, where you have the cave system to the south, and in the north you have 3D mountains, which are kind of bordering the entire region, and some water provinces scattered about. A lot of bridge crossings. There's a big mountain range in the middle, and what's unique about it is that the cave system connects to different parts of the map. For example, there's a cave here that connects to this part of the cave. There's a here, for example, connects to here, and so on and so forth. Here connects to here. So each different portion of the cave, here to here, for example, connects to a different portion of the overworld, and one in the middle. And then there's, of course, this top mountain province. But it's just really a beautiful artistic map. As you can see from all the flags everywhere, I've been playing on it for quite a long time with this mod, and I find it is both strategic and attractive, and just about the right size for the LPs that I like to play. So I would not be surprised if sometime in the future you see me actually doing a full LP with this map. So Cymoth really outdid himself here. But let's talk about the mod, Shambhala. First thing I want to say is this is a really awesome mod. And it really had better be, because for me to showcase it, let me just explain to you kind of the backstory. This mod really pissed me off. And so the fact that it's such a great mod is the reason why I'm still showcasing it despite that. Now let me tell you why. This mod has a number of spells that require you to be in mountain provinces for them to work. However, there is a bug in Dominion's 4 where spells that require you to be in certain provinces for them to work don't work at all. Period. Now that's not the mod author's fault. However, if you know that there is a bug that prevents a feature from being used, why would you release a mod with that feature? Just take the feature out until it gets fixed. Right now you can go and you can download this mod and it won't work to its full potential. And I get it. I mean, again, it's not the mod author's fault. It's the game's fault for having that bug in the first place, but you work around it so that people can download your mod and play it. And then later, when the bug gets fixed, which I hear it will be in the next patch, you update it back to the way it was. That's just customer service, I guess. But anyway, the mod is so good that I am willing to put up with that and showcase it and tell you how great it is, because it really is great. And just in case you were wondering, the way I got around it is our friend Burnsaber, who is the author of the mod Byzantine Pythium that I am playing in my full-length LP. He wrote me a message on the message boards and told me how to go into actual mod file itself and make some changes so that you can play the mod. And I kind of wish the mod author would have done that in the mod thread. But again, it's an amazing mod, so let's take a look at it. First things first, let's look at what we have here. We have the Hidden City, which gives you 2 Astral and 1 Earth, and enables recruitment of the Guardian, the Hidden Valley, the Regie, and the Hidden Master. Then you have Mount Young Drung, which gives you 1 Air, 1 Earth, and gives you the recruitment of a Me Dread. Okay, let's look at the units. We have the Bodpa Spearmen, the Bodpa Archers, and the Bodpa Warriors. Now these are your basic light infantry troops. I believe they are recruitable anywhere. No, not anywhere, but in certain places. Somewhere. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I thought they were recruitable in certain, maybe the forest? No. Okay, I must be mistaken. Wasteland? mountains? No. Okay, well, whatever. I'm mistaken. But they are your basic initial troops. And then they have this really cool, this is one of my favorite units, I think, from the entire nation. I think it's just the coolest thing. It's a Bodpa Yak Rider. And as far as cavalry goes, they're not that good, actually. When I used them in armies, they tended to die quite easily. But they're just awesome. I mean, a Yak Rider. This is a completely hand-done sprite. I mean, there's nothing in the original game that's anything like this. So, super awesome just for that. And another thing about this mod that makes it so great is that the cultural theme of it. It is so unique and different. And you can tell that the author, the original author, I suppose, although Globu probably as well, really understands this culture that it's based on and lovingly crafted it to fit the Dominion's mold, and I think that's pretty awesome. Then you have the Bodpa Horseman, who is a typical cavalry archer. The difference between the Yak and the Horseman is the Yak has mountain survival and I believe it has a gore attack, where the Horseman does not and only has the hoof attack. The Yak also has a supply bonus. Oh yeah, because they have milk. See, that's awesome. Just little things like that make the mod interesting. Next you have your second tier infantry, the Madapa. And these are the actual Shambhalan citizens, I guess. These are the tribesmen that live in the region, and these are the ones that live in the city of Shambhala. There's crossbowmen and bowmen. If you'll notice, they're both formation fighters. Then we have heavy infantry, formation fighter as well. They wield glaives. And heavy infantry with sword and shield, formation fighter as well. And because they are from up in the mountains, they all have cold resistance. Then you have your typical, well, it's called Damagdar, but it's your typical standard unit, which gives a morale bonus. Also formation fighter, also cold resistant. This one also mountain survival. And then you have your Damag Harags, which are also formation fighter, also mountain survival, also cold resistant, and they're kind of your elite infantry. They have falcons, and they have mirror lamellar armor. So this is an armor that was invented for this mod, and it's pretty dang cool. It also says helps protect from enemy spells, which I think might be shown as a higher than average magic resistance. Yeah, that's probably how that's interpreted. Then we have the Ratata, which is the cavalry, heavy cavalry unit. Also has a bowman though. All the cavalry units have some kind of ranged weapon. Formation fighter as well. Again, the mirror lamellar armor. Again, the high magic resistance. Then we have the sacred units. The Guardians of the Hidden Valley are bodyguard units. They are formation fighters. They have a patrol bonus and a castle defense bonus. So they're pretty much all around beefy, heavy infantry guys. And lore-wise, I guess, their purpose is defending the hidden valley in which this city is located. And they are pretty cool. Next we have sacred Meadreads, which are abominable snowmen type monkey creatures, and they are also sacred. They are also mountain survival and cold resistant, and they also have cold power. So if you take this nation, it's probably in your best interest to have a cold dominion. They have a magical ice cudgel, which does 25 damage and has an area effect of cold, armor piercing, and stun. They also have a javelin. Their armor's not too great though. Finally, we have regular versions of these Migos. There's the standard one with the club, same thing with the cold power. And then you have the Migo Ringon Pa, which is like a ranger unit with a javelin and a spear and is stealthy. Yeah, it's the only one that's stealthy. So you have the opportunity here for a stealthy army if you'd like to take one. So let's look at the commanders. We have your Bodpa Scout, just a stealthy standard scout. We have a Bodpa Stepa. He's just your standard commander of the Bodpa, but he's also a scout, or at least he's stealthy, as are the Bodpa. So they are all stealthy troops, probably not the Yak Rider, no. But the infantry versions are all stealthy. Then you have your Damag Opan, your medium infantry Shambhalan city commander, with inspiration +1 and formation fighter like his troops. You have a cavalry commander, inspiration +1 and formation fighter, and they have the mirror lamellar. And then you get to the mages. We start with the Drapa, which is basically a level 1 priest, level 1 astral, with a small chance of air, earth, or astral. Stealthy. Didn't find much use for them, honestly. You have a demon hunter, which has fire and astral, a 1 level priest, and 20% chance of one of these, which includes death. I guess now that I think about it, they could be used as communion slaves or communion masters. You can get to high level fire with that kind of setup, or high level holy. They have a magical Furba, which is +2 versus demons. Then you have the Ragyapa, who is like the funerary priest. And he has 1 death, 1 sacred, and a chance of additional death or air. 50% chance, so pretty good chance. Then we have the Nyingmapa. Now, there are 3 different versions of llamas, which are the main mages, and each one is distinguished by the hat that they wear. The Nyingmapa has the red hat, and they're the ones you're probably going to be recruiting the most of because they have the research bonus. So you want to recruit them as your research base. They are old, unfortunately, but they have a pretty good selection of magics. They can also be used on the battlefield, and they can Sermon Courage. And they can even get better magic with their random choices. So, of course, you could stop this video at any time and read the descriptions of all these units. I'm not going to be doing so. These guys are also spies. So they're pretty versatile. They are cold resistant like most of their kin, but also shock resistant. Then there's the yellow hats, the Gelugs. To be honest, I didn't find much use for these guys. They have 1 air, 1 earth, 1 astral, 2 sacred, and then another chance. I guess even with their randoms, there's not much these guys can get that your hidden masters cannot get, who are your #1 mages. So they're inexpensive, but they're old age, and if I'm going to spend the money, I might as well get a hidden master. Which leads us to the Karmapa, which is the Black Hat sect, and they seek enlightenment through ordeals and trance. They're oracles, so they can predict the future. They're also old, like all the other llamas, and they have the addition of death magic, and the potential to have 3 death, although that is, in practice, pretty rare. Then you have your sacred commander, the Rigi, or Rigi. I'm pronouncing this wrong, of course, being as I'm not Tibetan. But he has inspiration +2, formation fighter, and is a sacred troop with priest level 1. Pretty decent unit right there. And finally, your #1 mage, recruitable mage anyway, your hidden master. 2 air, 2 earth, 2 astral, 2 holy, and a chance of air, earth, or astral again, 100%, and a 10% chance of air, earth, or astral again. These are going to be your big main guys. They also have a lightning ranged attack, which I never got to see in practice because I never took any of these guys outside of the capital, but I'm sure as a battle mage that is quite a cool thing to have. And like the rest of them, they are sneaky, only these guys fly, and they don't have to eat. I didn't check and see actually if the other ones... Nope, they all need to eat, and none of them fly except for the Hidden Masters. The Hidden Masters are really awesome, and then you finally have the Migo Guide, who is a stealthy commander troop with the cold power, just like the other Migo. So those are the recruitable troops. And I've recruited many of them all, as you can see here. Outside of your cities, you can recruit these units, the Nagaspa, and they are 1 earth, 1 death, and they have a chance of air, earth, death, or blood, and then another chance of 2 blood. So you have a very small chance to get 2 blood from these guys, but there are some special blood spells of this nation, so it's worthwhile to look into them, and I did. Plus they're recruitable anywhere, or at least anywhere you have a temple or lab. Let's see. Oops, I pick up problems with the castle, of course. Okay, so they require a lab, not a temple. Okay. And so they'll be your main blood hunter guys, and doing a lot of that. Let me see if I... Oops. No. Okay. So I also, because it took me so dang long to figure out how to fix the problem with the bug, they also have some heroes, and I was able to see all of them. There is the Tolku, which is 2 air, 2 earth, 4 astral, 3 sacred, so fantastic unit. The lightning attack as well, tons of research, and they are the reincarnated spirits of ancient sages. So, very nice. Then we have the Ascended one, 3 air, 2 earth, 4 astral, and 4 sacred holy. That's awesome right there. They recuperate, and they float, and they're stealthy. They float and fly, which I don't think... I mean, I guess you could be both, but if floating is just a lower form of flying, so if you could fly, you don't need to float. But whatever. And these are truly enlightened hidden masters, and they reach a new level of existence and become ascended ones. They've completely transcended human needs, so they need not eat, and they are spiritually immortal. So I'm not sure what that means exactly. Like, they don't have the reincarnation tab here, but they have great magic resistance, great morale. And then finally, we have the Midred Mythopo, or the Spot High One, the spiritual master of the Midred. 1 water, 1 nature, and 2 inspiration. So a pretty solid, sacred commander. There could be more heroes, but those are the 3 that I received. Now moving along, I summoned a little bit of everything here. So first things first, there is a commander you can summon called a Thurang. And that Thurang is a mountain spirit, and they appear as a brutish, one-footed creature with webbed fingers and tongues so large they can cover their faces with them. They are 1 air, 2 nature. They are fire, shock, and cold resistant, and they're magical beings. They do give a 15% forge bonus, which I don't know if that still works in Dominions 4. Now the forge bonus is a solid number, and it's based on the number of gems. In Dominions 3, it was a percentage. It might still work. I don't know. I haven't tried it. And then there's the Clue, which is 3 water, 1 nature. It is amphibious, of course. It is both amphibious and poor amphibious. Again, one or the other, not both. It is cold resistant, poison resistant, a magical being, cold-blooded. It's a shape changer. I'm not sure what it shape changes into. Again, I haven't tried these in battle. It looks like they could change into a female human, since it says their human form are strikingly beautiful. So let's actually see if we could do that. Change shape. Ah, there we go. So they actually kind of mimic more the Bandar Log kind of Gandharva looking creatures with hooves instead of feet. But that's their other form here. And then finally we have the Srungma La with 3 earth, 2 nature, 1 holy. They're sacred troops. They're excellent defenders. They have a supply bonus and a forge bonus. And they have glamour, which is really neat. And they have that enchanted mirror lamellar armor. They are ancient spirits of the mountains and valleys, once worshipped by the Bodhpa as gods and protectors. A solid leader unit. No inspiration, but it can lead 40 units and 25 magic beings. Probably a pretty decent thug chassis too, looking at it. They could buff himself up with Earth and Nature, kind of one or the other, but there's definitely some good things you can do with this unit. And here's one of the... there's a couple Pretender chassis that come with this mod. This is the one I chose, the Llama of the Frozen Heights. There's also one that's like a Bodhisattva or something, so that's definitely worth looking at. But this chassis is immortal. And starts off, I made it a rainbow to cast all the summons, but I think it starts off naturally with the water, obviously. Okay, so then your death mages can summon the Beduds. The Beduds are Lama-Yin, earthly demons of the wooded hills and valleys, similar to Rakshasas, though not summoned by blood sacrifice. Once benign spirits of the Bodhpa, they are now degraded, brutal, and ruthless. They are undisciplined, they berserk, and they are demon troops. They do not need to eat. And there's just the warriors, and there's just the regular Beduds. And I know they're not probably called Beduds. They're probably called Duds or Dudes, or there's probably something cooler to call them. These are Sitipatis, and they're Lords of the Cemetery. There's a summon spell called Summon Lords of the Cemetery. And they're a peculiar kind of skeleton who dances in graveyards. And they have a patrol bonus. They have a chill aura. They are lifeless and undead, poison resistant, cold resistant, and pierce resistant. And they're poor amphibians. And they're sacred. So that's interesting too. Ferocious enemies of thieves, relentlessly roaming their land for wrongdoers. So they're kind of lawful undead. Then we have the Yeti. Most people would probably recognize them by the Western pronunciation or spelling of Yeti. And there are two spells that summon these guys. One summons one at a time. I think it's just summon Yeti. And the other is like Strength of the Mountains or something, which summons a number of them all at once. They have Ice Protection and Chill Aura and Cold Power. So again, if you want to be summoning a lot of these guys, you're going to want a Cold Dominion. And they are Sacred. Another bunch of sacred troops. The Jagra Law are the troop version of the commander I showed you, the god of the Bodpa, or the Bodpa. And the same, they're bodyguards. They have Formation Fighter, Castle Defense, and Glamour. Sneaky, Need Not Eat, Sacred. I forget if they just came with him. No, I probably summoned them separately. But there are some that do come with him, as you can see here. Then here are your blood summons. The Bitsans, they are demons, and they have a plague bow. They were once noble allies of the Bodpa, but are now malevolent beings, angry at being harassed and driven off by the demon hunters of Shambhala. This nation is so diverse and interesting, and the lore is so well done and researched that it really does seem like a super fun nation to play. A bit OP. I mean, I was able to, with just my first army and some backup, was able to pretty much conquer all the neutrals. But still really fun. And Snow Lions, it's one of your later summon spells. They are also sacred. Apparently magical beings, need not eat. Gangs Senge are magnificent, ferocious, celestial creatures who look like white lions with turquoise manes. Srinpo Swordsman. Once the precursors of the Bodpa in the Hidden Valley, the Srinpo are now cursed, degenerate beings with little resemblance to what they once were. They are gluttonous demons with siege bonus. They're probably one of the blood summons. And then there's the Srinpo with a great club. So Srinpo Swordsman. Okay, so the Swordsman is like the warrior version. This is the basic version with the club. So you can see there's a lot of really cool summonable units that run the gamut and do different things that you can explore with this mod. So you get the Yetis first, then you get the Lords of the Cemetery, those lawful skeletons, and the Law Warriors. Okay, so those are the ones, the Hidden Valley Protectors with the green skirts and the bonus to Castle Defense. Then there's the Dud. Then you get the White Fairy of the Mountains, which is the Yeti group. The Clue, which is the serpent/woman creature. Then the Srungmala, which is the leader of the Hidden Valley Protectors. So he's the thug chassis, basically. The Thurang, the one-legged, big-tongued animal that I showed you. The Bedud Warriors, the Snow Lions. And then in Blood Magic we have the Bitsan, and the Banquet of Cannibal Demons, which is probably what summoned all those demons that we saw near the end here. These guys. Banquet of Cannibal Demons would summon these guys. There are also some special spells for this nation in, was it Evocation? No. Enchantment? No, Thaumaturgy. Yes. Debt of Karma, which is a battlefield spell with a range of 30+. And not sure exactly what it does, though. There's description text saying it hinders enemies and makes them unsure of what to do as a consequence of all their faults. Maybe it stuns. And then there's Restore the Dharma, which is a range 25, 100 precision charm attack. So, there you go. Alright, so this is Shambhala, and again, it is incredibly diverse. It's got a lot going for it. I would probably, were I to play it seriously, take a Cold Dominion and just go wild with that. Summon a bunch of Yetis and just go crazy. Although, you don't need a Cold Dominion for these guys, and they seem pretty cool as well. Although, just so you're aware, these guys, the Clue and the Srungmalas, cannot be cast by any of your national mages. None of your mages have nature. So if you want these guys, you're going to have to put nature on your pretender chassis or figure something else out. Either a gnome with earth boots could get away with casting these guys, I think, if you're able to find them. and there's a couple summons that have nature and water that you could summon these guys with. So there's ways around it, but none of your natural mages can summon these guys. I'm pretty sure that your national mages can summon all the other guys. You know, maybe not the Yetis, actually, now that I think about it. I don't think any of the national summons have water. And that is correct. So you need to have water on your pretender to be able to summon them as well. You know, again, I'll mention I'm not a fan of that. I like it when national summons can be cast by the national troops because they're national summons, right? I mean, you'd figure that this nation has them regardless of what the pretender chassis is. But just remember that, and when you create your pretender, make sure that they have the paths necessary to summon the troops that belong to this nation. And finally, once again, I want to say the map is the Chalice of Ilmatar by Cymoth, and it is, again, a medium-sized, really beautiful map with some interesting strategic ideas to it. For example, like I said, that you can go, for example, you can fast travel from one region to another by using the underground tunnels, which is really cool. You have some underground water provinces here that actually end up in water provinces. So that's actually kind of neat. So Shambhala by Globu, originally by Nounours. I apologize for the poor pronunciation. And a special thanks again to Burnsaber, who showed me how to kind of edit it to make sure that I could summon the summon units. Although you at home probably won't have to worry about that, because by the time you see this or get this mod, the patch will probably have come out. It should be coming out any time now. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.